Hi everyone. In this video, we can see how to perform a static structural analysis using Creo Simulate. To perform that, I'm going to make use of this simple metal bracket. We are going to assume these four holes are the mounting holes of these brackets, which are going to be fixed in space. So they are arrested in all degrees of freedom. And this is the hook portion of the bracket where we assume there is an imaginary mass that has a particular weight under gravitational acceleration. So to perform the static structural analysis for this problem, we have to go to Applications tab and Simulate. Within Simulate, we will find a variety of options in here. Since this is an introductory demonstration, I am going to make use of only few commands and we'll cover the rest in the upcoming videos. In the home menu, we find an option within constraints tab. It's called displacement. If you pick that tab, you'll get an option or a dialog box that says what is the type of constraint you wanna use. Since I am going to assume all these four holes are mounting features of this bracket, I'm going to arrest these holes in all degrees of freedom so they don't move in X, Y or Z direction. By default, Creo has fixed X, Y, Z in translation. What I'm going to do is, since it is asking for a geometrical reference, I'm going to click on the Intent tab. The advantage of using Intent is you can pick all the relevant geometry within a single click. Since all these four holes were created using a single extrude feature, they were all picked up by Creo in one go. So it says Intent Surface Extrude 3 as my selection. These do not have rotational degrees of freedom, and the body that I'm having right now is a solid body, so we're not going to make use of rotational degrees of freedom, and that is why we have just the translation enabled. I will click OK. Now we have our constraints set. The next step would be we need to apply load. For that purpose, I'm going to use force command from the loads tab, and this also pops up a dialog box. Here I'm going to pick an individual surface where my imaginary load is going to act upon. We've got X, Y, Z coordinates mentioned here. So at the bottom right corner we can see X, Y, Z pointing in their respective direction. So for our analysis, I'm going to assume the load is going to act in vertical down direction, which is negative Y. So my imaginary mass would be say 50 kilogram. So in terms of Newton, it will be roughly 500. If I click on preview, it will show me the direction in which the load is going to act. If I zoom in, I can see it is vertically down in terms of direction. Going to click OK. Now our basic conditions are set. Before we move on performing our analysis, we need to make sure that this model has a material assigned to it. I would recommend assigning a material at part level. That is, when I exit out of Creo Simulate, I get to this model tab. So you can right click on this model name and go to edit materials. So depending on what type of Creo package you are using, the screen might be different, but right now for simplicity, I'm going to get into ferrous material and I'm going to choose something that's like a low carbon steel. So I already have that assigned in my body. So I'm going to click OK and expand the materials tab. I can see steel low carbon. I enter into Creo Simulate once again. Now, just as a quick check, I go to Refine Model tab and click on AutoGem, which is Automatic Geometric Element Measure, and click on Create just to see how my mesh preview looks. Since Creo uses P-type elements instead of H-type elements, we can see not a very good mesh kind of course here, but this is absolutely fine for our analysis today since it's an introductory video. So I'm going to close out of this. Do not save my mesh. Go to Home tab again. Go to Analysis and Studies. Click on File, New Static. I'm not gonna rename it anyways. It can be Analysis 1. So I make sure that I have checked in the constraint set 1 and load set 1. I set the method to single pass adaptive, which is an ideal run setting for any type of analysis. I can use quick check or multipass analysis depending on my requirement. So my analysis one has been populated here. As the status says it's not been started, I'm going to click on this green flag, or either you can go to run and start. Either one does the same job. I'm going to click on run. It is asking me if I want to run interactive diagnosis. It is up to your wish if you want to see interactive diagnosis or not. So my run has completed pretty fast since it's a simple model. In order to view the results, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this analysis and select this option here, review results of the design study. It's going to take me to the results definition window where I'm going to choose the displacement first, where I will check if the displacement makes sense as per the load I applied. Go to display options, click on deform so that I get a deformation plot. I change the scaling to about 5%, which I personally prefer. I'm going to hit show element edges so that we can see the mesh nodes and edges. Click on animate. Depending on your computational power, you can choose either 8 frames per second or 16. I'm going to choose 16 because that'll look good. Going to OK and show. Now, if we look at the model, we can see as per the load path, it is deflecting in the way it should. So we should always make sure that intuitively the load should make sense based on the vector and the magnitude of the load. So magnitude doesn't matter, at least the vector should match, because anyway we are scaling the model, so the magnitude is not going to make sense, just the shape is going to make sense for us. In order to look at the results pretty clearly, go to format, edit, and choose this color option, and I'm going to choose something like a gray for a good background against the stress. So we can get a gray background for zero stress areas, and we can progress along by using blue. Since this is a deformation plot, we are getting the maximum amount of deformation at the tip. So that makes sense here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this animation. Let that plot be here, maximizing the screen. If I go to Home tab, I have an option to copy the screen into another parameter that I want, which is stress. In this case, I'm going to choose a von Mises stress, which is applicable for ductile materials. So and I don't want to see deformation. If you want, you can leave it as such. You want to show element edges, you don't want to animate it. I'm going to click OK and show. So this is the stress plot that I've got here on the right. So as you can see, since we were applying the load here, the load path was so that load is being transferred from this notch to this bend radius area to the rest of the material. Since this is our load transfer zone between the hook and the rest of the body, this region seems to be strained as well as stressed out. So this stress plot makes sense to us. So depending on the factor of safety you're looking, you can probe the model to see whether you have got an acceptable stress range or not. So for that you need to go to Home tab, click on Dynamic Query, and you can pick any points to see. So it is showing me 8.69 e power 1. It means 86.9, whichever unit you have preferred. So you can double click on the screen to choose the unit. Right now I have megapascals or Newton per mm square. So it is always recommended to probe stresses on nodes because that is where the calculations are being done. If you want to probe anywhere, it depends on the shape function and the value is being interpolated. If you don't want to show the dynamic query location, you can check that off. So you just get the value, you can close out of it. If you want to remove the tags, you can come here and clear all the tags. And if you want to check whether your solution has been converged or not, whether you can trust this, you can click on the screen and hit copy again and choose something called P level. It shows what is the polynomial order that the solution has gone until to solve this problem. As we can see, we have relatively smaller P levels, that is I would say until P5 or 6, which is very reasonable for this kind of problems. So we have got only P5 or 6, we can trust the solution right now. Or else if you want to look at the numerical values, you can go to the diagnostics window in the Creo screen where you can see the percentage of stress error at each steps, where you can calculate the convergence yourself then. So this is the visual way of seeing the convergence. You've got better convergence at the other part where there is no strain or no displacement. We've got slight a bit of increase in P level to P5 here at the area where there is more strain and stress. So this is how you perform a simple static structural analysis in Creo Simulate. And a bonus tip is, if you want to share this with anyone, or if you want to export this as a window, so that you don't want to repeat each and every step that you did during displacement plot or stress plot view, you can simply go to save window, and you can click on this where you get simulate results definition. Or if you want to save this as a template that you want to use for other analysis, you can click on the other save that has two floppies there. If you go to the drop down, you have something called simulation results template that you can make use of. I hope this video would have been helpful for you to start with Creo Simulate. If you like the video, drop a like and let me know if this was helpful in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll meet in the next video.